Hola, coming to you from my beautiful home in Mexico, down here in the Yucatan, hanging out with the Mayan. I love the Maya. I love the Mayan people. Love, love, love the Yucatan. I'm Reverend Valerie Love. If we haven't met yet, darling, how you loving? They also call me KAISI. So I am here for your freedom spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, helping Christians reclaim their magic, right? Get your magical self pumped and activated. In Christianity, they attempted to steal our magic. They attempted. It didn't work. And why I love churches, we were just in Italy. And while in Rome, we were in some of the most beautiful churches I have ever seen in my life. I love churches. I never met a church that I didn't love. I love churches. I love mosques. I do not love that people give up their power to what they think is an outside authority that should know better than them. That is never the case. There's no outside authority that knows better for you than you. Let's breathe. Deep breath. We're beginning today with spell 25. We're here every day, Monday through Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Live, if I'm not traveling and all things go smoothly. And we're here for 8 weeks for 40 money spells. We are 5 weeks into this experience, 3 weeks to go. Get on it. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Be in touch deeply with your magic. Be in touch with the will, the power within you to cause that which you intend to come about. Be deeply in touch with the true essence of your desires. See them as already done. And now we speak a word. The word that goes forth with frequency, vibration with energy and information. A frequency of certainty that only good and all good comes to all who are here at all times. We are wholly and completely supported by the universe. There is nothing we cannot do, nothing we cannot know, nothing we cannot understand by the grace of the great, one true, beautiful Mother, Father, God. Ashe. Amen. Hotep. Harness your power. Reclaim your power, beloved. Reclaim your power from all the entities that would seek to vampirize your power. Why? Because entities need energy to survive. Don't let that energy be your power. There are entities powered by higher order beings or lower order beings. There are entities that would seek to siphon your power. Any entity that told you that you need them to reach God is using your power, siphoning your power, for themselves. Any entity that tells you you need them to heal your body is siphoning your power. Your mind heals your body. Not saying that you wouldn't, there is a fly in here that is really testing my vow of harmlessness. I promise you. I don't even have a fly swatter because usually me and flies, we're good. They go their way, I go mine. This one is in my house. And this one is really testing my vow of harmlessness because I swear I want to swat it right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live ahimsa, which is what I teach. I'm going to live that. So thank you, Fly, for being my partner today in teaching and living ahimsa. If you do not know what ahimsa is, we teach it in the mystery school as one of our founding principles. So when you come to mystery school classes, you'll hear all about ahimsa. Do not allow your power to be siphoned. Don't allow it. You are the arbiter, final and complete, and only arbiter of your entire life. You. Not you, the ego, you, the divine self. Okay. Let's begin. Screen share. Here we go. If you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome to all our new peeps. And if you've been here forever, for years, mwah, I love you either way. And if you're members, goodies are coming to you soon, members. Yay! If you're not a member, there should be a link below this vid or somewhere around this vid that says join, or the link will be below this vid on how to join the channel at ValerieLoveTV.com. Let's go on screen share and get this party started. And by the way, do share. Now, if we're at 40 money spells. If you would like another really powerful, just to let you know, really powerful Bible magic spells, I'm constructing a book of 40 Bible spells. This will be in the Christian Witches series, not the 40 series, because these are not money spells. Everything in the 40 money is for money, wealth, expansion. The Christian Witchcraft series is all about Christian witchcraft, Christian magic, crystal paganism practices, all of it. And I'm constructing a book. A book is coming forth for me. It's the next book. I have so many books in me. I have crystal magic for the Christian witch. I have angel magic for the Christian witch. I have revelation for the Christian witch. I have Bible spells for the Christian witch, exorcism for the Christian witch. There is so much coming out of me over the next months, year, 2 years, 3 years to 5 years. You'll be astounded. I mean, it's just tons of it. So I'm creating a book now called 40 Bible Spells for the Christian Witch. And this book is going to contain new spells, completely new spells. And the only space that anyone has seen these spells, because I'm working these spells now for efficacy to be sure many of them already work, many of them already do. And I'm creating spells and I have to use them before I give them to people to tell you that it works, or at least know that the components are sound and that I've done something with each of the components to know, yes, this works, because this is a system of magic that's coming forth and being created, especially for people who've had a Christian experience. So if you want to know, if you want to get your hands on some of these spells right now, there are a couple of them already that I've already created. I'll just share with you one of them because it relates to the Bible magic. So this is this is in the Bible Magic course. The Bible Magic course is at christianwitches.com. Click on classes. And there you see Bible Magic, and you can still register for it. You just buy the course now, right? Just buy the course. Now, inside the course, here in the Bible Magic additional spells, there's a pregnancy incantation. There is I'm just flipping through this. There's cross conditions, getting rid of cross conditions, a great spell that I did for that. That is really good to get rid of cross conditions. It's a banishing spell. Hold on. I want to get to number 7. Oh, I'm flipping through fast. I know. I know. Okay. This is the spell that I want to get you to. This is the money attraction and wealth expansion spell. I've used this, components of this. We use this in the 40-day ritual, even though it's different from the 40-day ritual, and it focuses on Proverbs 10:22. And if you want to get your hands on this spell, this is one of my favorite spells because elements of this we used in the 40-day money ritual, and elements of this I use, and I'll be adding more spells to this Bible spells course because I'm building out 40 spells for the practicing Christian witch. And this is one of them. It's a money attraction and wealth expansion. So you want to attract money and you want to also expand wealth. Hold on, let me turn on the air. All right, little being, little fly fly friend. Chill. That's warning. Next, my vow of harmlessness will be paused for a moment. I'm going to put a stay on it to do what I have to do to not be pestered. Okay, so that's at christianwitches.com if you want to get that spell. There's quite a bit of spell work in here. All right, so today we're going to the Money and Wealth Cauldron. So where did this spell come from? Well, I created a cauldron. I didn't actually know I was creating a cauldron when I first created it. I had a vessel, I had a jar. And I'll share with you something that came from my mother. My mother never spent $5 bills. It was an arbitrary number. She never spent $5 bills. And in my mother's time, my mother was born in 1941. And during her time, during her life, her entire life, and she passed off this planet in 2013, during her entire life, cash was very prevalent. They used cash for everything. Growing up, they used cash for everything. Most of her life, she used cash for everything. When she got, I don't know, in her 50s or 60s, she started using credit cards here and there, and she had excellent credit. Her credit score was like 800 and some odd points, and she was just excellent with paying things. And they were old school, and they saw the Depression. So, Depression era people have different thought processes. Well, because they dealt in cash a lot, all day, every day, pretty much dealing in cash. They paid for everything in cash. There were no credit cards. There were no debit cards. Everything was cash. It was a very simple life. And you went to the electric company, or after cash came checks. So you would go to the electric company and you would give them a check, or you would mail a check. So checks were prevalent before the mass explosion of digitized exchange. Well, she was in that era. And because they did mostly cash all the time, cash was always flowing through her hands. Cash, 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 cash. And my dad, who was my dad that I grew up with, which is different from my biological father. I have 2 dads. And then I have my heart dad too, which was my grandfather. That's the first dad they brought me home to from the hospital. Okay, so I have kind of 3 dads. Well, my father, whom my mother met when I was 7, married him when I was 8, whom we grew up with as my dad, right? Like going places with my dad and stuff like that. He was a meat cutter in Harlem, New York City. We grew up in Harlem, New York City. And so he worked at the butcher. He was Jimmy the Butcher. And he used to work on what is now called Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, which used to be 8th Avenue. We lived on 8th Avenue. It didn't get a name yet when I was growing up. It was still 8th Avenue. is Adam Clayton Powell 8th Avenue or is it 7th Avenue? Either way, they changed 8th Avenue to one of our melanated heroes. Okay, so I when I was little, it was 8th Avenue. And right on the corner, he worked in a butcher shop. And him and my mom met, and he was a Jehovah's Witness, and my mom was a Jehovah's Witness. So it was like destiny, and it really was. Okay, well, my dad made a lot of money for people in the hood. He made a lot of money. He had a specialized skill of being able to slice up an entire cow or an entire pig. And he had instruments that were so sharp, a couple of my dad's fingertips are gone because and even at home, he had this long steel thing, and he had knives. He loved his knives. He had a lot of knives, really sharp knives. Some were like huge, and we could never touch Dad's knife because, like, one they were so sharp it would slice you, and you wouldn't even know you were sliced. Just blood would be coming out. That's how sharp my dad's knives were. Well, pardon me. So Dad was paid a lot of money, and he was paid weekly most of the time back in that day. I'm describing this to you because it's pertinent to the story. I'm also describing this to you to show the vast distinction between the world we live in today and the world that they lived in, because some of the references that I make will sound so foreign and bizarre that I've got to give a little bit of context for this story so that it will make sense in a modern paradigm, a way of looking at the world. So we could go months, we could go a whole year and never see cash. That wasn't how it always was, and that is a fairly recent phenomenon. People use cash for everything. Now they're trying to make it so that we have a cashless society, which is somewhat easier, yet you definitely would want to dip into your Bitcoin for that because you do want to still have privacy, because if you don't have cash, you don't have money privacy. Okay, so Dad made all this money because he had this very specialized skill. He was extremely good at this specialized skill. He could always do a great job, and he worked at the butcher shop for many years. And at the butcher shop back in the day, people went and got all their meat, right? They would bring a cow or a pig to the butcher shop, and the butcher would slice it all up and dice it and slice it and wrap it up in brown paper and put a ribbon around it. And your grandmother or your mother would send you to a store, and she would either put the money like on your person with a note. They were good for writing notes to the butcher. Give me da, 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 4 pork chops, center cut, fat trimmed off. Then they would put the money wrapped up like $2 or something like that. I know $2 for like four pork chops or something like that. And they would wrap it up. That was going to be for dinner tonight for 4 people, right? Or maybe 4 adults and 4 kids, because they were going to chop up the pork chop because each kid couldn't eat a whole pork chop, right? So either way, they were going to do it. So they sent it, and they would sometimes pin it on your person and just go straight to the store and don't stop there. Don't go to the candy store and don't do this and don't do that. Then they would get in your face and give you all the rules. Okay. And then, you're in New York City and you would walk outside like 6, 7, 8. They used to send us on errands like that all the time when we were growing up in New York City. That was just part of growing up in New York City in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's just how it was. There weren't snatching kids. Everybody in the neighborhood knew you. It was just different. I think they kind of were snatching kids, but it didn't seem like they were coming to the hood too often to snatch kids, because our parents told us, never talk to strangers, never get in a car with strangers. Now I talk to strangers every day, and every day I get in cars with strangers is called Uber, right? That wasn't how it was back then. They just told us never get in a car. And they did also tell us, a police would help you. Police officer would help you, because pretty much they would. It was dicey some parts of America. Where I was, the police would help you. Okay, so I go to we go to the butcher shop. The butcher would be paid. The change would come back to your grandmother, right? Or the butcher would run a tab for your grandmother, and on Friday on payday, your grandmother would go and pay it. Well, my father would get paid on Fridays like everybody else and go to the check cashing place. not a bank. Rarely did they go to banks because they were Depression era people. They didn't trust banks. And these were, my people are simple people. And I don't say simple in a derogatory term. I mean, we lived a very simple, abundant life, and it was beautiful, very beautiful. And to be very honest with you, it's the most beautiful way to live. A really simple life, a complex life gets to be challenging. Yet there are levels of complexity that must be engaged in order for us to live our epic life. So it can't be simple in all respects yet. If you can keep some sweet, simple aspects of your life beautiful. Well, my father would get paid on Fridays, take the check to the check cashing place. For, I don't know, 50 cents, a quarter, whatever, cash the check. And so they would just give you a stack of cash. And then my father would come home and give the cash to my mother. So you can see that my mother, I say all this to say that my mother was dealing in a lot of cash all the time, going just as a way of living life. So my mother decided one day, I don't know when she decided this, that she was never going to spend a $5 bill. So she would just take, every time she would get all this cash, she would pluck out all the fives. And she never spent fives. She rolled them up, put them in her clothes in the closet, because, you know, our people had a way of hiding a whole lot of money. And so she would just go in the closet, stuff it in different places. When my mother passed, they found all the, like the treasure trove of $5 bills. Anyway, it came to me, and that added up to a lot of money. It came to me in my magic and from this ancestral consciousness from my mother that you could save a lot of money if you didn't spend a certain denomination, if you lived in a high cash society, like if you never spent quarters or if you never spent singles. So quarters and singles came to be somewhat apart in my consciousness from real money. So we would just toss all our change in some receptacle. Now, I did not at first think that this was a magical thing, but the witch that I am, I turned it into a magical thing, or maybe it was already impregnated with some unactivated shreds of magic that I came along and said, hey, this is magic. That's where this spell is coming from. This spell is going to help you save money, as well as it's going to rid you of the practice of walking around with low vibratory money, like singles and change, if you still use cash. And here is what I mean by that. Low domination bills, small change, and coins are handled by a lot of people. If you live in a place where there's still a lot of cash, if you live in a place where there is not a lot of cash, then I'll tell you what to do anyway with this cauldron that you're going to use, a transmutation cauldron. When you come in direct contact with these funds, these dollars that have been in shoes and bras and all that, people used to put their dollars in all manner of spaces on the human body where there was sweat and whatnot, you know. Even when I got older and I would say, okay, I'm going to the store, you want anything? Here go my mom and grandma. Yeah, the bra bar, the bra wallet. Yeah, hold on, I want to get you. It was like a whole treasure trove going on up here. Like, I don't want the wet, sticky money from your bra, from your boobs. I don't want boob money. So, mom, grandma, I'm treating. You know, that's, oh, okay. Then you would get them to put their boob stuff back away. Like, ugh. So anyway, these low vibration dollars that are handled by a lot of people moving through, especially if you have money with high velocity. Velocity means the speed at which money moves. The tiniest bills have the highest velocity. They're moving through. You could give $1 to this person, and at the corner they give it to another person, and the next corner they give it to another person. That dollar bill probably moved from Kansas to New York in one day. Somebody gets on a plane, somebody goes here, somebody does that. The thing moved through so many people, and every single person that it moved through, there was energy. And you could tell that there was energy because What we used to do sometimes is write on dollar bills and then pass them. And you could put like a little good message on a dollar bill or something like that. And that thing would go and go and go and go. And God knows where that thing would land up. Why? Because it's moving through many, many, many people, which means it's moving through many, many, many energies, which means it needs to be cleansed and cleared. Decide that you will conduct yourself as a rich person. Once again, our step one is always to decide. That's an inner experience, beloved. That is an inner experience. No one can decide for you. You must decide. I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million more, that unless you've decided, none of this is going to work for you. Step two, acquire a new rich feeling cauldron for your wealth altar. Now, you could go to the metaphysical magical shop, get yourself a nice expensive cauldron. I don't know why cauldrons are so expensive in these stores. They're expensive in a lot of these stores, especially if you're in a place like Sedona or Salem. These cauldrons are very expensive, yet you could probably find a nice cauldron, not very expensive, on Amazon that still does the job, yet still represents heaviness. It's got to have weight to it, and it's got to feel expensive, to place on your wealth altar. Now, it should be appropriate size for change in singles and can be any pot or vessel that represents a magical cauldron to you. So right now on my altar, I have one, yet it doesn't look like a cauldron. The one that I have looks like it's a candle that had a lid with a crystal on top. When I saw this candle, I was like, had to get it, had to get it. It's in my on my altar right now, where we create the wealth and the global travel. Specifically, there's a spell cooking on that altar for global travel. As a matter of fact, that's another spell I need to put in there. Thank you, Spirit, because that's an incredible spell, and I even videotaped the whole thing, so that's a good one. Okay, now this cauldron is going to sit on your altar. It doesn't have to be a cauldron. It could be any vessel that is elevated. It should have a rich feeling, luxurious, elevated. It's luxurious. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It just needs to be luxurious. It could be a pot. It could be a vessel. When I say a pot, I don't mean like a pan from your kitchen and just put it on the altar. No, no, no. A pot as in a vessel, like a clay pot, or anything that looks like it's rich to you. It's going to be your magical cauldron. Okay, so you're gonna find one. You're gonna acquire one. Now, here's what you know about magic. You don't have to go looking for things. Allow the things to come to you. In magic, there are greater forces working than human forces, the lower mind. The lower mind is going on, oh, Rev said, I got to get this cauldron. And you're looking through Amazon and looking and can't find what I want. Rev, what kind of cauldron is it again? Should I get one with a handle or without the handle? Wow, beloved, breathe. Because that's not how we create magic, right? Magic, everything comes to you. So how? Because you decide. You say, all right, universe, show me this beautiful cauldron, vessel, pot that's going to go on my wealth altar for the execution, for the working of spell number 25 and 40 money spells. Show it to me, Spirit. Boom, and leave it. And go about your business. Forgot you even heard this. And watch how that thing will come to you. You'll just be walking through a department store and all of a sudden be like, oh, this is it. And you will know it when you see it. This is you learning to be an absolute partner with the universe in co-creation. You're having a continual conversation with the universe. You're not doing this by yourself. Your lower mind is not in charge. Some people treat Google like it's God. It's not. Soon as they hear something, let me Google it. Wow. Soon as you hear something, the automatic response for a witch, a wizard, a warlock, a mage, a great sorcerer, necromancer is to close eyes and go within. Okay, what is my own self telling me about this? Not out here. Change your trajectory from outward to inward, the portal to all wisdom. Where is the cauldron? Show it to me. Okay, if you hear nothing, it might say you already have it. It might say look left, and boom, there it is. Stop running around on the earth plane. Muggles do that, not you. And once you receive the cauldron, of course you'll pay for it. Of course you'll acquire it. When you see it, acquire it. That's why it says, step 2 says acquire. It doesn't say look for, search for, run after, go to Amazon. It doesn't say any of that. It says acquire it. How are you going to acquire it? You're going to acquire it in a way that no one else will acquire it. You're going to acquire it in the way that I acquire all my magical things. I'm in a magic shop and I look up, oh, wow, look at that. I need a new dagger. Give it to me. And in that moment, you must buy it. You must procure it. You must not have a money conversation with yourself. You must not do anything other than procure it. Step 3, you're going to thoroughly cleanse and clear the cauldron. You're going to first wash it. And then you can clear, of course, you're going to wash it. And then you can wash it with holy water. You can wash it with rose water, Florida water, Kananga. All of these are great. And placing it in the light of the full moon overnight. That's kind of like my go-to charger, super infusion of spiritual energy is the full moon. You could do a new moon. And I love putting things in the light of the full moon overnight, especially if you have a window where the full moon is coming straight in, or you can put it outside. If you have outside space in your home, I have an outside, I call it my sun, moon, fire deck. I have a deck outside, and that allows for crystal baths in the full moon. I just do different things up there. So sometimes I sleep under the full moon out there. So whatever, yeah, put yourself in the light of the full moon. That's incredible. I just feel this incredible surge of energy. That's why I love doing the full moon. And I love the brightness. So you have an opportunity to do this month, because the second full moon of the month is soon coming up. That is the blue moon, right? The second full moon in a month is a blue moon. August has a blue moon, as well as the blue moon that is coming up is a super moon, when the moon is really close to the earth and it appears huger than ever. Now, the first full moon in Aquarius of this month was also a super moon, and you could see how big the moon appeared. People are taking pictures of it. It's all over Facebook, right? And the super moon coming up at the end of August, even bigger. August is so packed with so much energy between the 2 full moons, the new moon, the Lion's Gate. It's packed. It's packed. It's packed. It's packed. Okay? And we have some goodies coming up for you on the Lion's Gate, which is 8/8, soon to be released. Goodies coming up for you for 8/8 that you can always come back to on 8/8 over and over and over. Back to the cauldron. So cleanse and clear the cauldron completely. See, the cleansing and clearing can happen at the same time if you use holy water to wash it. Or you could use moon water, you could use river water, you could use ocean water, whatever you want to do. You can cleanse and clear at the same time, because if you use holy water, it's going to take care of not only cleaning physical dirt, it's going to clear it spiritually as well, right? Energetically. Once it's all clean and clear, you've left it in the full moon overnight, or you've done to it whatever you do that radiates magical energy potency to this vessel, you're now going to do step 4. What? I have step 4 twice? Oh, good Lord. Let me correct that right now. Wow, we missed that. We missed that. Don't worry, we'll get you the new copy of it. And Please know that if you have a version of my books that is an older version that has something quirky in it, it is a collector's edition because we update the books pretty frequently. And when we update the book, the old version of the book becomes a collector's item because it's no longer available and it's super rare. So I just made you richer by making that little change because someone will still have the book with the old typo in it. And 20 years from now, it'll probably be worth gobs of money. I see my books on Amazon right now for $800 or more because it's not in print anymore. So, hey. Step 4 is to anoint and charge the cauldron by stating, "You are blessed and placed into service to attract wealth to me now. Everything placed in you is transmuted into abundance, charged with wealth, and multiplies my prosperity, so mote it be." You are anointing and charging this vessel by your spoken word to be a receptacle that will receive the coins and the dollars and will transmute it into an energy. This basically is going to be a beacon of energy coming from your altar that is now attracting to you opportunities that to partner with people, profitable collaborations, business agreements and deals, wonderful partnerships. Can't you see it? So mote it be. Now, you're going to place the cauldron on your altar and fill it with any change or singles you have in your possession. I never carry change or singles. I just don't do it. Just always put them in your money cauldron. You come across them, put them in your money cauldron. Now, if you do not use cash, you can still use this by going to any bank and procuring singles and coins. You go to any bank and get singles and coins. Or if you have large, but if you just don't use cash at all, you can go to any bank and they will, for a $5 bill, they'll give you coins and a couple of singles. Put them in there. Now, what I also did, I have a couple of these. I have a couple of these working, and they're just working. They're just working. They're just cooking. They're just doing something. What I also love to do is I love to put money from different countries, different currencies in. So I'm not only in placing in the cauldron, the vessel, the pot, this luxurious vessel. I'm not only putting in there money from the country I live in, putting money in there. Like, for instance, I live in Mexico. So, Mexico, and I have a spot in Miami too. So, Mexico, US. When I go to Dubai, one of the richest countries in the world, I love bringing back dirham. I put dirham in there when I'm in the UAE, right? I go to Egypt, Egyptian pounds are in there. You go to Greece and Italy, put some euros in there. You go to Canada, put some Canadian money in there. Make it, I don't want to say global, yet make it expanded beyond your current experience. And if you say, well, KAISI, I don't travel out of the country, how am I going to get all these different currencies? Having the different currencies is not a requirement, nor is having any currency other than the currency that you have in your own country. So you can really do this anywhere. Movability of your body should not affect your magic at all because magic can be practiced anywhere with anyone doing anything. Magic is universal. Magic does not depend on where your body is physically located. Yes? Don't carry small change. I remember I was going through a period where we were making a transition from cards to from cash to cards. And during that time, I would have a lot of money still, cash. It was still a lot of cash. I remember I got to the place where I would not keep singles and coins in my wallet. My wallet was ordered. I did the steps in the prior spells. My wallet had larger bills in it. And if I got one of these little taped up singles, no way I'm putting that in my wallet. Low vibration. I'm not putting that low vibration stuff in my, I'm not throwing it in the trash either. Yet I'm not accepting that. It's not going in my wallet where you have like, 20s, 50s. And if you were doing the Abraham Hicks thing, they told you a long time ago when we were still carrying cash around in our wallets, they told you to put a $100 bill in your wallet. And we're going to get into that more later in the spells. So let's recap. The cauldron, this vessel, it becomes a beacon. It's beyond the physical. And it's calling to you greater abundance, and it's transmuting. Not only is it attraction, it's also transmutation. It's attracting wealth to you, and it's transmuting the low vibration stuff you put in it. It's transmuting it to a higher vibration because you already did that. And it's an easy way to save. It's an easy way to save. You just put a certain denomination in there all the time. After a while, you have plenty of money around you all the time. We had so much coins and cash around us. It has a multiplication effect. So not only is it attraction, transmutation, it is also multiplication. Let he, let she, let the one who has ears hear. Do you have ears? Can you hear what Spirit is saying to you? That's what Christ meant by that. It's an esoteric teaching. Let the one who has ears hear. Listen, just because we have ears and we are hearing words does not mean we are really hearing. That's it for today. I'm Reverend Valerie Love. You can, of course, pick up the book at ValerieLove.com. I am so happy for you being here. I freaking love you. Love you, love you, love you. I love that you're in this challenge. I love that you're doing the work. I love that you are raising the vibration of wealth, abundance, riches, prosperity for everyone on the planet. Warp, wealth, abundance, riches, prosperity at warp speed. I love that you are a light because every light lights the way for the ascension of humanity's consciousness. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you on day 26. Mwah. Peace. KAISI out.